How did you know this?
I didn't know at all. I found that it actually gave a language
From cars to planes, let's wing it. Hi, I'm Nancy J. with the Celebrity Spotlight on location at the Museum of Flying in Santa Monica, California, where I'm getting ready to talk to the voices behind Disney's Planes, a wonderful, fun, animated project. And there's a lot of military precision involved in this one.
When you're working with John Lasseter and the Pixar team and the Disney team, it's all about getting your facts correct. And it's trying to get out there and do as much research as you possibly can. Get out there and talk the talk, walk the walk with all those folks. And what that does is when you get the amount of facts back, if you do your homework right and you implement that into the film, a lot of times then your film rings of truth and believability. And that's what we're always going for. So I had this group of Navy sequences that I knew we were going to do in the film. We had a sort of a rough pass on them. So I thought, okay, you guys, due diligence here. We need to contact the U.S. Navy and see if they can come in and take a look at the movie. So the next thing we knew, we got a call from the Pentagon, the Department of Defense, and they're like, yeah, we'd love to come in and down and see what you guys are working on. So to say the least, I was a little nervous, but once we got in and we screened the movie, they absolutely loved it. And then they were leaning over to each other and they're like, so how can we help these guys out? And they thought for a moment, and he's like, you know what? We need to get them out on an aircraft carrier.
Oh, wow.
So the next thing we knew, we get a call that we're able to fly out with our small team to the USS Carl Vinson, CVN 70. She's out of San Diego. She was about 150 miles out to sea that weekend. They loaded us onto a C-2 cargo aircraft. We flew out to the Vinson, landed by a resting wire right on the deck. Let this guy fly over.
In fact.
Almost like that. Landed on the deck with the arresting wire, and an amazing experience to say the least. How many people get to do that?
For the first time, we have a crop duster in the race.
Well, he's gonna die.
Dusty, you're going up against the best racers in the world.
I'm afraid of heights.
That airplane needs some help. Y'all know that, right?
Yeah! It ain't how fast you fly, it's how you fly fast. You can fly a whole lot higher than you think. Ballistic!
You're so fun as Dusty. What a great voice you have, too.
I thank you.
But how did you make an airplane so kind of lovable?
I wanted him to have some grit. I wanted him to have, a little bit of edge. I knew that people had a preconceived notion, and maybe fans who know my voice or know my comedy could come in and know from the content maybe of my acts would have that. But I also just was hoping that I could go in there and really capture, and using my real voice, a little bit of that, many years of being out there and the struggle and what it means and what I've kind of captured in kind of the modulation of how I use the musicality of my voice. If I could insert all of that into Dusty.
Hey, look who made it. It's Rusty.
Dusty Crawpopper.
Farm boy.
Wow! You're a bulldog? Tally hell!
Most people call me Ishani.
I'm Pan Chupacabra.
We will have many adventures. We will laugh. We will cry. We will dance. Probably not with each other.
Don't let anything distract you. She is like a sunrise after a lifetime of darkness.
Or like fresh fertilizer on a field of dying grass.
This is not your thing, my friend.
Planes is memorable. It's fun, and I loved you as the voice of Dottie. It seemed like a little higher than you usually are.
Did
Just
it?
A little sweeter.
I think she had some dramatic, episodes, arcs, and I definitely did try to think of her as actually sort of weighted and grounded, because she is a forklift and she's not a plane. So I don't know that I would have necessarily tried to put her in some lighter area, if that's what you heard.
Right. But the funny thing is, I was thinking planes, a forklift, not exactly the most cuddly, sexy, endearing objects.
But she came. Oh, but I think she came out to be
Absolutely.
so adorable, which I love, and I love that she's a female mechanic, so she gets to shed a little bit of light on the idea that women can be mechanics too. I think she's a very earnest, authentic friend, and she takes you from being, worried and a realist. But then when she sees that her friend really wants to confront his fears and reach beyond that, she's going to be supportive to the end.
Kennedy approach, over. Go back to Jersey, you bum.
This is Dusty Crophopper. I'm caught in a storm. I'm going down.
It's a really compelling underdog story. Like Old Yeller.
That's not an underdog story.
There's a dog in it.
You have some military in your background. I know my father was in the Navy during World War II. I think your grandfather did some.
Yes, my grandfather flew for he was a flyer, and he flew for the French Resistance.
See, so was my dad. At least they were on the same side.
Yeah.
So that was very, very good.
Whew.
But it is interesting how much military precision there is once the planes get on the the aircraft carrier, and I'm sure a lot of work went into that.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, I couldn't believe it when I was watching this movie, and I just saw a rough cut of it, but when I even saw the rough cut, and all that stuff on the aircraft carrier, and I mean, it's terrifying. I mean, you really feel as if you're there doing it. So it gives an appreciation for the skill, the profound skill set that these people have that can do this kind of thing. Wow, I'm in awe.
Take Off with Planes in your real-time theater.